Way back in 2005, two brothers set off on a road trip that would save the world and change television.
The Kennedys?
No, not those brothers. For 15 seasons and 327 episodes, Supernatural took audiences on a wild ride of family, fate, and faith with a rocking soundtrack and a seriously cool car.
But that was then, Bobo, and this is now. And yes, the show has quote-unquote ended, but we're not quite done with the journey.
No, we're not.
And that's why we're watching it all over again, or for Rob and me, for the first time,
That's right.
diving deep into every episode of Supernatural with the fine folks who made it. And we're taking you along for the ride.
Whether you like it or not. I'm Rob Benedict. I played Chuck Shirley, a.k.a. God.
Spoiler!
Yeah, it is a bit of a spoiler, but hey, spoilers are fair game here.
Fine. And I'm Richard Speight Jr., and I played the Trickster, also known as the Archangel Gabriel, and I did a little bit of Loki work in there.
Okay, you know we're running out of time.
Okay, well, we'll be talking about the entire series, so whatever we say, accept it. You've been warned.
So buckle up and settle in.
Because this, my friend, is Supernatural, then and now.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob Benedict.
Hey, everybody, I'm Rich Speight.
And we're here to talk about Supernatural Season 1, Episode... Go ahead.
No, as you are.
Season 1, Episode 12.
Yes.
Faith.
You know, you got to have...
Faith.
If you're going to watch all of Season 1, you've got to have...
Faith.
Right.
Yeah, George Michael was right, turns out.
And you know what? You know who's going to be on our show today?
Well, don't tell me. It's a spoiler alert.
All right, just letting you know.
Okay. All right, let's get into what this episode was about.
All right, Robbie, walk us through it.
The episode starts mid-action.
Right. It's already like, I literally paused it and I thought, oh no.
Wait, did I miss something?
Did I start in the middle?
Same.
I didn't.
And the boys are in pursuit of a raw head.
Oh man, I don't even know what that
You
is.
know, those raw heads.
What the hell's
And I'm
wrong?
going, is this another raw head episode?
Oh, no. I thought I misread that as a redhead.
No? Oh, no, it's not that kind of show either. But Dean is electrocuted in the pursuit. So Sam takes him to the hospital where Dean is told he will soon die.
Oh, end of series.
Once again, I'm feeling like,
Show's over.
oh no, but I know that he's in it till the end. Well, Sam seeks out the help of a faith healer in Nebraska.
Okay, let's get there.
That was in his dad's notebook, told him to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So they head there, and when entering the revival tent, they meet the lovely Layla Rourke and her mother, who are true believers.
Oh, yeah.
Layla, unfortunately, is terminally ill
Oh.
and is hoping to be cured by the faith healer.
Hmm.
Sam and Dean take their seat in the crowd. Dean is selected to come on stage. Now, I can tell you at this point, he's not into any
He
of
doesn't
this.
believe this crap.
No, he's not into it.
No.
He's being very Dean about the whole thing. But he reluctantly goes and passes out when the healer and crowd start praying for him. In a semi-conscious fog, he sees a pale, emaciated man next to the healer. What's going on? Well, the next day at the hospital, Dean is told he is going to live.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, show gets to continue.
Yeah.
And the boys overhear that a healthy man just died of a heart attack.
Well, what are the odds of that?
I know, so they get suspicious, they investigate, and they eventually learn that the healer is somehow controlling a reaper to take the life of innocent people
Oh, man.
in exchange for the life the healer's trying to save. However, it's the preacher's wife, Sue Ann, who's controlling the reaper with black magic from a Coptic cross.
Oh, man, it's always a healer's wife, you know?
I know. And it's always a Coptic cross.
Yeah.
She's about to take Dean's life in exchange for Layla's, but Sam gets there in time and smashes the cross.
Mm.
The reaper is released, and it takes Sue Ann's life. Dean is saved. However, Layla accepts her fate.
I don't like the Layla accepts her fate part. Layla didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Layla's gonna go.
Yeah. No, it's
Accept it or not.
It's a very real life ending here.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot going on here, lots to unpack.
Yeah.
I, first of all, just starting with the Reaper, a little later in the show, I know we're going to get other people who play the Reaper.
Yeah, it's just
This is the first.
First of the Reapers, and
Yeah.
it kind of steps on the whole idea of don't fear the Reaper.
Right.
I think be scared less of the Reaper.
No, fear the
because-
Reaper,
yeah.
for sure. This Reaper was makeup heavy. He had a lot of makeup on.
Yeah, but it's really creepy. Like
Yeah.
the whole
So creepy.
selling of the idea that it's like the ominous
Yeah.
looming thing you can't avoid. Pretty cool.
Who just kind of gently puts his hand on your head
Yeah.
and you die. So yeah, and like, as you were saying, you were into the opening, opening and
I wasn't joking when
Yeah.
when the episode started. I paused it thinking, "Oh crap, I started mid-episode."
right.
Because it's the first episode we've seen so far that doesn't have a slow meandering opening. You're right in the middle of a chase.
Yeah.
They're right in the middle of taking on a monster.
Yeah.
Turns out to be a rawhead.
And another rawhead opening. But and then Dean gets electrocuted. I mean, that's shocking. It was a bit of shock.
He gets shocked right in the pursuit.
And that's why I think it was such a great episode. Is
Yeah.
it goes from that, and what a great way to take you then to, because I was like, how are we going to get to the faith healer? What a great way to, because we're trying to heal Dean.
It was very cool. It
Yeah.
was very, very clever, very, very cool, and very well executed.
And then they also bring in a lot of stuff. The first time they talk about like Sam and Dean playing God, deciding who should live and who should die. I thought that was a really interesting.
Yeah. A really,
Right?
really big theme to tackle.
Yeah.
Because they deal with so much death around them.
Yeah.
And Dean did get his life saved,
Right.
but at what cost? And he has the moral fortitude to ask that question.
Yeah. And I thought that was really interesting. And also just a sidestep pause, if we would.
Okay.
Because I know the show starting in like season 4 when I started, and like there's things in here where you can't help but watch it as a 15-season series and go, it almost feels like an Easter egg. You know what I mean? Like, for example, seeing the Reaper, it makes me think of
all the Reapers?
The other Reapers, yeah, the Reapers yet to come. And when they talk about God, I couldn't help but think of like when my role comes in as God, and
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
Good point.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting.
It is true. You do start to see
recurring things and
sprinklings of the future,
yes,
if you will.
Exactly. And this is the first time in the series that Dean should have died. For all intents and purposes, Dean should be dead.
Right.
And this becomes a recurring thing, I'm told in my notes.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me upset because I don't like it when Dean dies.
Well, get tough darts because Dean's going to be dying. Let's talk about this facial hair wise. I'm going to go ahead and leap out here and say full beard for me. Robbie?
Full beard for me too. It's I think one of my faves so far.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the acting was great, stem to stern.
Oh man, the guy who plays the preacher is so good.
Kevin McNulty,
and he just the choices he made that could have gone a different way.
He plays such a chill version of it, and it's so grounded and real. It's great.
And when he's healing Dean, he's like, oh yeah. He's like he's very like he's really feeling. And you think if he's maybe going to be the bad guy, but he's not.
No, he's not the bad guy. It's Layla. Layla's the bad guy.
No, she's not.
Oh.
No, she's the terminally ill one.
Oh, well.
No, it's Sue Ann.
Sue Ann.
Yeah.
She's also the bad guy.
Yeah, the only bad guy.
Oh.
But she really gets her comeuppance at the end, so that's kind of satisfying.
Yeah.
But then
we leave a girl to die.
And then we leave a girl to die.
The boys can't solve every problem, buddy.
Because
that's the big lesson.
They are not God.
They are not.
But you know what I'm really thrilled about?
What?
Is to hear you say who our special guest is.
Man, so excited.
Okay.
I love it when we have actors in the show. Obviously, it's great to have Jared and Jensen, but we get like the guest stars to come on the show to reflect on the experience they had so many years ago. And it's great when that actor is somebody who has a huge career.
Yes.
And has been doing TV and film ever since that very day.
Okay.
That's what we have today.
And that is...
We have Julie Benz.
What?
We have Julie Benz coming on the show.
Wait, Julie Benz from like 911 Lone Star Training Day, the TV show, Hawaii Five-0?
Yep.
Wait, who played Rita Bennett on Dexter?
That one.
Darla on Angel?
That's her.
And Buffy?
Julie Benz.
The Julie Benz that was on Roswell and Desperate Housewives?
That's what I'm talking about.
No. You're not talking about the one who was in the movie Jawbreaker.
Yes, Julie Benz.
Saw 5.
Julie Benz.
Punisher Warzone.
JB.
And Rambo?
Benz.
Wow. Well, this is very, very exciting.
Right?
Well, then let's meet her.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it right now.
Such a pleasure. We have with us on our show today, Julie Benz. Hi, Julie.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. Thanks for coming to join us to talk about this episode, Faith, that you were on of Supernatural.
Thank you. Yeah. Many
moons.
Many years ago.
That's a lot. That's a lot of years. Did you go back and rewatch the episode in advance of this?
I had to, yes.
Right.
Because it was many jobs ago, too.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's like, it's hard to keep it all straight. So, yes, I actually watched it yesterday. When you're in a genre show, like a Supernatural, it tends to hold up better over time than, say, like a Dawson's Creek or just a regular everyday show. And it's because the themes are bigger and more universal and more relatable as well. Especially the episode Faith, it deals with what do you believe in? Do you have faith or do you don't have faith?
Right.
And I think that's a universal theme that people have struggled with over time through centuries and centuries and centuries. And we will continue to question in the future. That helps the show hold up over time.
I'm watching it for the first time. We were on the show, but later, and we're experiencing this first season for the first time. And I'm finding that too. It really holds up well. And because of the nature of the show being kind of a serial show, Monster of the Week kind of thing, and Sam and Dean really being almost like the superheroes, I find that too. It does.
Thematically, it holds up.
Yeah.
So now get in the Wayback Machine. Take yourself way back.
Yeah, way back.
We're going to go back to season 1, Supernatural. Doodly doop, doodly doop. Did you know about the show when you got cast to do it? Had you ever heard of it?
I think I had heard of it, and a lot of it's because, I just keep trying to remember. I think I did the show. It was right. I had just done the Dexter pilot, but we hadn't gone to series yet. So we had just wrapped. Angel had just wrapped as well. So like the CW, all of that was still in my wheelhouse of shows to follow and watch.
Right.
And so it was something that I was aware of, and I had watched a couple episodes. So I recall it was a direct offer, which was one of the first direct offers I had ever had.
Nice.
I was very deeply flattered that I was offered the role and said, hell yes.
Yeah.
Darn right.
Yeah, that always makes it more appealing.
Yeah, darn right.
Yeah. Do you remember working with Jared and Jensen and how they were with you on set?
Oh my God. I mean, they're so dreamy, aren't they?
They are. I see it all the time.
They are dreamy, dreamy, dreamy boys. They were so sweet, so lovely. I remember the conditions were, I'm going to say extreme, but really not extreme if you live in Vancouver. We just had a lot of rain.
Right.
I was going to ask about that. Every scene is a torrential downpour.
Every scene is literally like, so Rob and I were talking about this before we started this interview. The close-ups of the elderly going to the revival church is like people with their walkers in 6 inches of mud. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And super disgusting mud. I mean, it was probably poor planning on production's part to do a church revival the week it's going to have like a massive rainstorm all week.
Right.
So I mean, I call those extreme conditions.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I'm from Los Angeles, so that's why.
Right.
I'm not from LA, but I've lived in LA for a very long time. So
yeah,
that's why it was extreme for me.
Yeah.
They were very sweet, very kind. And then I just remember how excited they were too about the journey they were embarking on with the show, and really how they were thinking long term. They weren't so worried about short term issues. They were really thinking like long term. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, this show's going to like last a long time. Because these two leads, like the chemistry between the two of them on and off screen is phenomenal. When I was there, they treated everybody super kind, but you could tell they were thinking like they just believed in it. They believed like we're going the long haul. I don't know if they believed they were going to go as long as did. Like, was it 15 some years, 20 years, something like that?
15.
But they just believed it, and their energy is infectious.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. That's cool to hear that it was like that. Even season 1, they were like that.
Yeah, they were. And so many times you go on shows and people are like, I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know. And you hear all the doubts. They were like, yes, this is it. Like this is,
they were
awesome.
right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Turns out.
And they were right.
So your origin story, obviously, you have an incredibly impressive resume. At that point, you did as well. But you're from. Originally, you're not a Hollywood family. You're not from an entertainment family. You kind of came at it through the old-fashioned go to school and learn about it kind of way, right? So we have a detail written down here in our, you get to confirm or deny it. We were told that when you were 15 studying, that you were told to give it up. Like you had an acting
I
career.
was.
So what was that story? And who was that idiot?
So it's actually 16, the year's off, but that's okay.
16.
Damn it, Rob.
I went to that Carnegie Mellon pre-college theater program that they offered in the summer. And, I grew up in Pittsburgh, so Carnegie Mellon was like a big school for us. And it also is one of the top 10 theater departments in the country. So it's highly respected. Big people have come out of Carnegie Mellon. So anyway, I was there for their pre-college summer program. And there was this voice teacher who, speaking voice, not singing, but, speaking voice teacher who just, at the end of the summer, you get these handwritten evaluations. She was like, you're never going to make it as an actor. Your voice is terrible. You might as well not even try. And
that's the spirit.
I still have it, by the way. I still have it
really?
In my garage and it's in the box.
She wrote that down. That was like in a letter.
Yeah, that I should not pursue acting professionally.
Wow.
And the thing was while we were there, or during that summer program, there was this movie being cast in the city of Pittsburgh, and they were looking for teenagers, and some for speaking parts and some for background. And Carnegie Mellon submitted a handful of students from the pre-college program for that movie. I was not one of them. I was not submitted through Carnegie Mellon. I had a modeling agent, and my modeling agent submitted me, and I went in to be a background actor. And the director, Dario Argento, and he said, he didn't speak much English, and I'm going to do a terrible Italian accent, but he said, you come with me. So my mother and I get up and we go into his office room with him, and he's like, do you want to be in my movie? And I said, yes. And he goes, no. Do you want to be in my movie? And I said, yes, of course I want to be in your movie. He goes, okay, good. He goes, now walk across the room. I walked. He goes, now walk back. And I walked back. And he goes, you are going to be in my movie. You are going to play the role of Betty. And Betty had 5 lines. So I got this part that Carnegie Mellon was trying to cast with this people that they thought were talented. Somehow anyway, it was kind of controversial, which I thought was silly.
Wow.
But it was this crazy thing. And I think that's why the teacher was like not a fan. And then I had to miss a bunch of classes too to shoot the movie. So, because I had a bunch of scenes, even though I only had 5 lines, I had a bunch of scenes.
This teacher told you that after you got cast in that movie.
This mystery keeps getting unraveled here because it's really weird to go. Yeah. Here's the story. I'm going to be honest with you, student Julie Benz, young Julie Benz.
You should not.
I don't think you have what it takes to make it in the movie business. You're too busy working in the movie business to attend my classes. And I don't think if look, keep your eyes on the ball. If you want to be in the movie business, come to my class. If you don't, then go do the movies. It's your call.
But by the way,
you can't do both.
Those universities are like that. I mean, I ended up going to NYU,
right?
And I had a similar situation at NYU in my freshman year. I got a TV pilot that went to series, and they tried to kick me out. There was a teacher that tried to kick me out of the theater department because you're not supposed to work your freshman year.
Uh-huh.
And I had another teacher who had a lot of tenure stand up for me and say she knows how to do something that we can't teach, which is she knows how to get a job. So if you kick her out of the theater program, I will quit. And that's the only way I stayed in. I had to agree to take a D for the semester because I had to miss 10 days to shoot the pilot.
D for the pilot got picked up.
Right? And but that's how a lot of these theater programs work. And I think they do their students a big disservice. I think what that teacher said about me, which is I always knew how to get the job. I might not have known how to do the job, but I knew how to get the job. And when you're young, people are going to show you how to do the job, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
They don't have high expectations when you're young coming in to the business. But if you can go out and get a job when you're young, then that's half the battle is knowing how to get the job.
There was always that age-old adage, anybody can graduate from Yale, it's getting in that's a bitch, which is sort of the same, sort of that idea. Like, it makes sense. Once you're there and you're part of whatever set family you're part of, they will make sure that the elements are correct for you to succeed. You're right.
Yes.
I'd like to think that it's maybe different now. I mean, I know that where I went to college, and it did feel very much like a separate thing. It did not necessarily. It taught me a lot about acting and theater, but I didn't. I was a theater major, but then when I graduated, actually learning to work in television.
I was just like, you taught me a lot about acting and theater. I was a pre-med major.
That's what the weird part was. No, but I know now at the school they teach acting for TV, and it's much more integrated now than it was 25
back then.
years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so too, because I mean, it has to be. Come on.
Yeah, it's got to be.
That's
right?
a really weird
Otherwise
thing to penalize you for, though. That's a really. I'm glad we dove into that because that's a trippy story.
Yeah,
I would love to know other letters that teachers sent to people.
Yeah, right.
Dear Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, exactly.
You just stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you had the wherewithal to not be affected negatively.
Yeah, or to not listen to her.
Yeah, I have a big ego.
I hope you're digging the episode, but we need to pull over for a quick second for some messages. Hey, this is Richard Spate. You know what? It's 2024. It's a brand new year, and I bet you made some New Year's resolutions, and I bet one of them was to eat healthier. Well, you can get cranking on that resolution right now, my friend, with Factor. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, the prep work, the cooking fatigue. I'm getting tired just talking about it. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you will have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart this resolution off right. Forget frantic lunch prep and rush dinner making. That stinks. Factor's 2-minute meals, yes, I said 2 minutes, are your secret weapon in the new year.
You get to fuel up fast with restaurant-quality meals all delivered right to your door. It doesn't get any easier than that. And Factor now offers loads of snack options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, snacks, and more to keep you going no matter what's on the schedule. So I know what you're asking. Rich, how do I tap into this Factor magic? You head to factormeals.com/SPNTAN50 and use code SPNTAN50 to get 50% off. That's a lot off. That's code SPNTAN50 at factormeals.com/SPNTAN50 for 50% off. Make that resolution happen now and make it happen at a discount. Fantastic food that's healthy and delicious and delivered right to my door. Now that is how you start the new year off right.
Thanks for supporting Supernatural then and now. And now, back to the show.
Good.
Good.
It takes that.
Listen, you have to believe in yourself in a business that's built to beat you down. So it's good.
Yes.
It's good that you have that.
So back to Layla.
Back to Layla.
The
Yes.
role you played in Faith.
Correct.
We were saying that one of the things about this episode, which we think is one of the better episodes we've seen so far.
Yeah, legitimately creepy. Like
yeah.
real creepy.
Yes.
You know, and one of the things about the episode, like it just starts with drama right out of the gate.
Right.
You know?
But I was going to say, your character, she's terminally ill.
Yeah.
And there's no resolve it's just real life at the end. Like we leave her
They leave you to die.
and you're not healed.
They're so selfish. They are so selfish.
You can be
I
that selfish when you're that hot though. That's always been my
You can. She forgave them in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have forgiven two ugly dudes. But you
That's
definitely
true.
forgive
No.
Sam and Dean.
No, I forgave them because they're so hot. There was a kiss too at the end. They took that out.
What?
But
What?
there was a kiss between Layla and
Dean,
Dean.
did you
so-
film it?
Yes.
You filmed it. You filmed the kiss.
Yes.
There's a blooper out
Yeah.
there. Not a blooper,
Wow.
uncut scene.
Yes. It was nice. I was happy.
All right,
I
let's
was-
everybody calm down just a little bit. It's a family interview.
But then I thought when they took it out, I was like, oh, it must not be attractive enough to be 11.
Or maybe your groping hands were too much for the CW.
Maybe it was a little much. But no, I'm joking. But no, there was a kiss.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Well, that answers this question here. Is there a spark between Dean and Layla that isn't acted on?
And it turns out it is
It is
acted
acted
on.
on.
Acted on, just cut out of the editing room.
Cut out.
Just cut out. And I think they felt like every episode there was a girl coming on making out with one of the boys, and I think they thought like, okay, we're just not going to do that show.
Yeah.
That's not going to be this show.
Well, they
Right.
didn't
And
like.
so-
Yeah, they
It's
don't really.
interesting.
Just being guys who are watching it now, they don't hook up with a girl per town. I mean, they might meet somebody, or there might
Yeah.
be this like energy, but they don't act on it because they've got this grander goal,
Bigger
this grander story
thing,
going
yeah.
on. Right? That's cool.
Yeah. But I want to give the props to the director, Alan Croker.
Yeah.
I've worked with him since then many, many times.
Oh, wow.
After I worked with, he came and directed some of my favorite episodes of Defiance, the show that I did for Sci-Fi Channel. I think a lot of the elements that make this episode special were because of him.
Oh, cool.
And even like the music that they play during the revival.
Yeah,
like,
that's really cool. It's
you
almost like
know,
a jazzy kind of
jazzy. Yeah, all those little touches I think are Alan's touches.
Oh,
I really
wow.
felt that they were
Interesting.
his mark. And even the way like the revival worked, I mean, they were very sensitive to make it as realistic as they could
Yep.
in a supernatural situation.
Yeah. And honoring people who believe.
Those, the belief
that,
people
yeah.
who believe.
Well, I
Right.
thought, and Kevin McNulty, who plays the pastor,
I thought he
he's
was
great.
great.
So good.
He's
he was
great.
so good.
He's like
Yeah.
movie level good in that performance. I
And
thought
because
that
that's one of those,
Yeah.
like, pastors in those revival meetings have been done a million times.
Right.
And it's easy to become a cliche of what's been done before you.
Mhm.
I thought he did a really nice job of playing that character,
Mhm.
playing it honestly.
And I'll tell you, 15 years later, I forgot that plot twist.
Uh-huh.
So it was nice to go on the journey and see the plot twist with
Cool.
him and the wife. you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it must be wild going back 15 years later and going, wait, what was this thing I did? That's me. I barely
I know I
remember.
was there.
Yeah.
There's proof.
It's so funny because like even watching it now, I can remember things that happened on that day while filming.
Oh, really?
But it's like I don't always remember what it was I was filming.
Right.
You know, it's like watching an old movie where you're like, oh, that was the day with all the mud, and then this happened, and then that happened.
Right.
And then, like, oh, wait, the scene.
Oh, yeah, right. We were doing a TV show. So let me ask you
Yeah.
this, because back then everybody's super young and nobody has kids yet and all that stuff. Were you guys like going out to bars at night? Like, was it a fun social thing or no?
No.
He's got to do.
I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't that young. I was 30, I think.
Gotcha. But nonetheless, he was like,
it's like older.
It wasn't like, I don't know. It just seemed like it's.
I mean, the boys were so freaking cute. So cute. I'm sorry, but we just would like watch them and just get the giggles.
Oh my god,
because they were just so cute. And then like, we'd have to act and be like, oh, like act like they weren't adorable. They're just adorable. Like, they would make us like. I'm getting all blushy talking about it.
That's amazing.
They're adorable. Wow. All right. Now, least favorite. What was your least favorite moment or experience or time?
Favorite moment. You know, the rain in the mud was really tough. And I finally convinced them to let me shoot with an umbrella. There's that one scene where I actually have an umbrella.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was just like, come on, like I'm drowning out here. And the boys, they look gorgeous wet.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, I look like a drowned rat. So at least we play the rain as rain. Like, and it was raining hard enough where they could actually see the rain on camera.
Yeah, you could. I mean, there's one thing I
Yeah.
noted in that. I mean, look, it's Vancouver. You're going to get rain. But holy smokes, it was really pouring in some of those scenes.
Yeah. And you know, like the majority of the time, real rain doesn't look like rain on camera.
Right.
So a lot of times, but it was raining that hard where you could actually see the rain. And so I just convinced them to let me use an umbrella because like, this is crazy.
Yeah. When you were saying that actually remember specific things, were there anything else that you remembered from those specific, besides giggling at the hot boys?
How can you forget giggling at the hot boys? I remember the van ride and having some, and I can't remember specific conversations, but just having some really great conversations in the van with Jensen and Jared.
Oh, cool.
Like, and just thinking like, wow, these guys are super cool.
Wow.
Like, they were super respectful, super cool, very extremely friendly.
That's great. I mean, and I think that carried on. And I think is one of the reasons the success of the show. I mean, those guys really did take the reins, and it trickled down from there, you know, and they're responsible and they're good dudes.
Yep.
They like their crew and they're nice to everybody, and, you know. So that's
they're
good.
really good people. And I still, like, if I run into them out and about at an event, they're just like, hey! I'm like, ah!
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So,
Julie
yeah.
Benz, woman of great talent, who just, I mean, has just done such great work over the years.
Yeah.
And you were kind enough to come back and reflect on your experience at Supernatural, and we appreciate it.
It was tough, man. It was tough watching it yesterday, seeing myself a long time ago.
You look great then, you look great now. You have nothing to worry about.
Oh, you know, it's hard. It's hard. The older you get in this business, and you're like, oh, wow.
I know it's hard in general getting older, but you're doing a great job.
I mean, we should all
I'll
be
suffer
as lucky as you. Yeah.
We should all suffer the Julie Benz fate of being in the zone for the whole time.
Yeah.
So thank you for everything. It's love watching your work all the time, and it was really fun to revisit this.
We'll be right back. Thanks for listening. Now, back to the episode.
Boy, she really liked Jensen and Jared, huh?
Couldn't even hide it. She was like gushing.
Yeah.
Still to this day. I mean, she's reflecting back to 15 years.
Yeah.
She cannot remember a lot.
Yeah.
But she remembers she made out with Jensen.
Yeah.
And how cute they were.
Yeah. And then you reminded her that we were crusty old men.
Yeah.
Which is always fun.
She didn't need a reminder. There was a video call.
Well, I mean, you could promote us the other way.
Unless she's lost her sight.
One of these days it'd be nice when you're like, hey, but how about us?
Oh, boy.
Do you like old dudes? Oh, boy. Okay. Well, that was great. And thank you again to Julie for coming on. Next, do I have a treat for you?
What?
I don't know if you remember, but we played a game with Jensen and Jared when they were on the show.
Game of chance?
Not really, but we played a fun game. It's called the Google game, and I wanted to play it for you and for the listeners right now.
No, play it for me first, then the listeners.
Okay. Okay, for this game, we're going to take some of the most asked questions about you, the ones that Google auto.
The most asked questions?
Yeah, asked
the most
questions?
asked questions.
Oh, asked. Okay.
Although, ironically,
I mean,
a lot of it has to do with your bottom.
Who answers the question?
Hinklage.
We're going to wing dingo some questions. Okay, so.
Alien Eichenberg? What is it called?
Yeah, come on.
Every time it's a different name.
And finally, I just didn't. I let you say it for me. Okay. So anyway,
Like
we're
John
going to
Travolta trying to Adina Menzel.
Diesel Mendoza.
Diesel Mendoza.
Okay. So, Google auto completes your questions. And so there's some really funny ones. If
Hours
you do,
of entertainment.
Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles. So the first one is Jared Padalecki? And it fills in Polish, Canadian?
I feel like I should be honorary Canadian now after having spent 15 and a half years there, but I am, according to 23andMe, I am majority Polish.
Polish. Rich?
Okay. It also asks if you Google, is Jared Padalecki a vegetarian?
No.
Which everyone at this table knows the answer to, but I guess
I'm chewing on steak right now.
There's
you floss with a rib.
Yeah.
all right. Is Jensen Ackles in The Forever Purge, the movie?
The what?
The Forever Purge.
I guess that's the answer.
The Forever Purge. Oh, yes. Yeah. That's the latest installment of the Purge series, right? I am not.
No.
Okay.
No.
I was like, I
No, I don't.
You really
I don't.
dragged that out.
No, what?
Right.
Okay. Is Jensen Ackles Batman?
I'm Batman.
There you go.
You kind of are, right?
Well,
voice
I
of
guess
the-
I'm not the live action Batman, no, but I do the voice of the feature length animation Warner Brothers movies, and I do play Batman. I just recorded another one a couple days ago.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Is
You're
Jared
Batman.
Padalecki in Harry Potter?
Please say yes. Please say yes.
Please say yes. Please say yes. Please say yes.
Well, I haven't told anybody this because nobody's asked that question, but I am not in Harry Potter.
Okay. I think to prove that you're not in Harry Potter,
Do my best English
your
accent.
English
do
accent,
your British accent for us all right now.
I am not in Harry Potter.
Yeah. You are definitely not in Harry Potter. For certain.
Oh, that.
There you go.
Yeah,
See,
really,
That's not even an accent that
Exactly.
exists
No,
anywhere.
No, that wouldn't offend British people because they wouldn't know that he was shooting.
I was raised in several different countries, so I have
I
a,
am not in Harry Potter.
in Harry Potter.
I hadn't
All
practiced.
right.
All right, to Jensen.
Does Jensen Ackles have a twin brother?
No, Google. Even though Jared Leto is often mistaken as my twin brother,
sure.
he in fact is not.
Only from House of Gucci.
Right.
I tell you, your brother, though, your actual brother, you guys look a ton alike. I mean, you're not like twins.
We didn't used to, and as we've gotten older, we've kind of started to look more and more like brothers. Yeah.
It's trippy because when I've met your brother, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, but this is from
Yeah.
so
It's bizarro, Jensen.
just so we can let the listeners know the Spate family ability to identify resemblance. Spate's son one time after coming home from a convention went like, "I like that guy that looks like you," and Spate's like, "What? Borja?" I'm like, no, the one that y'all could be like twins. And Spate's like, well, I have this picture. Which one? And it was me. So the Spate family gene does not have a lot of ability to identify objects or shapes.
Facial recognition.
Or colors. Yeah. They
That's
need some
not the
Google
worst
facial
one, Jared.
recognition
Didn't
software.
The
Didn't they
worst
also
one-
call you Dad one time?
Yeah, they do.
No, the
Yeah,
worst
for
one-
different reasons.
Pop-up. I think they call them
The worst
pop-up.
one is when my father called me to say, what the hell are you doing getting a tattoo? I'm like, a tattoo? And he's like, it's online. You're sitting there getting a tattoo. I'm like, Dad, I don't know what you're talking about. You're somewhere at a party getting a tattoo. I'm like, no, I'm not. He sent me a picture. It's Jared getting a tattoo at Jeffrey Dean Morgan's wedding.
that I took.
Yeah. And so my dad, I'm like, Dad. And then, so Jared and I took a series of photos. Jared took a picture of himself holding People magazine that he was on, and he's like, and he sent it to my father going, hey, Dad, I'm on the cover of People.
So it's now across 3 generations of Spates. Inability, like they're like T-Rexes. If you don't move, they can't see you.
It's amazing.
Okay, one last one we're going to do that it's for both of you. It's are Jared and Jensen neighbors?
We share a city. We used to be.
We
very
used to
close.
be very close a few years ago, but I've since moved to another area of the city. But we are, I guess, city neighbors.
When we lived close, he was downwind of our house, and he was tired of smelling my farts.
It was because if you type into Google what does Jared eat, ... And it will fill that in. That makes him so toxic.
Zero vegetables.
Yeah, that was actually one of the questions. If you type in, what does Jared Padalecki, it'll fill in eat.
Oh, I'll answer
Right.
that. I eat a lot of meat. I have a terrible diet. I really do.
It basically it must.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna deduce here from knowing you so long that it must just be meat, protein powder, and bags of prunes.
Yes.
Because
Well, you're thin as a rail.
Lots
That's what
of
doesn't
candy.
make sense.
I do have I'm also very tall, but I have a fast metabolism. But I basically eat everything. I will eat vegetables. I do greatly enjoy them. But I very
fun fact for you: Jared's large intestine is only 6 inches.
That's right. That's right. It goes right through.
It's just a shotgun.
Yeah.
Got to put
Straight in and out.
Got to put a speed bump in that bad boy.
I'm gonna vomit.
That answers the question. Does Jared Padalecki's small intestine...
Is Jared Padalecki's small intestine shorter or longer than his large intestine?
All right, guys, we're going to let you go, but thanks for indulging and playing with us.
Anytime.
That was fun, huh?
Oh, God bless Google and all its wrongness.
Yeah. And God bless Jensen and Jared for playing along.
Well, that really, you talked him into it, so Rob bless.
Rob bless. Now it's time for Mythology.
Mythology.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Rawhead. Generally, rawheads are leathery skinned creatures that prey upon children. Oh, fun. Stories of them originated in Lancashire and Yorkshire in Great Britain. The legend was adapted into slave narratives and folklore in the southern United States. It sometimes goes by the name Bloody Bones.
I've never heard of either one of those rascals, and they both sound gross.
Yeah.
Clive Barker helped popularize the creature with his short story Rawhead Rex, which was adapted into a feature in 1986, retitled Platoon.
Nope. No, it was not. But boy, Rawhead Rex, great film.
Rawhead Rex.
Solid film. All right. I know you were asking earlier.
What's a Coptic cross?
It is the symbol of Coptic Christianity, which was the primary denomination of Egyptian Christians.
Oh.
So the cross comes in a variety of forms, many of which are influenced by the older pagan Ankh symbol for eternal life.
Listening to Rob say a word that ends with an H is disconcerting.
It's spelled A-N-K-H. Ankh. Ankh.
Now, Reapers.
You really think it's the Grim Reaper? Like Angel of Death? Collect your soul? The whole deal?
No, not the Reaper, a Reaper. There's Reaper lore in pretty much every culture on Earth. Go by 100 different names. It's possible that there's more than one of them.
Is this their first appearance in the series?
Yes, it is.
Do they become one of the more recurring supernatural creatures in the series?
Yes, they do.
Huh.
Many cultures have mythology about the personification of death coming to collect your soul at the end. In Spanish-speaking cultures, the personification of death is represented as female.
Hola.
The Spanish word for death is muerte, a feminine noun. The creature is also female in Slavic mythology.
Hello.
I don't know what that says about females, but
They'll be the death of me.
yeah. And I like your Slavic.
Hello.
In Chinese culture, the being's name is Yama.
Yama.
In Judaism, according to the Midrash, the angel of death was created by God on the first day. The modern concept of the Grim Reaper started to appear around the time of the Black Death in Europe in the 14th century.
I wonder if Reapers ever get bummed by being classified as grim. Could you be an upbeat Reaper? Hey, here comes that toe-tapping representative of death. Like it's a bad entry to go like, oh, hey, here's a-hole Daryl. Like, you're like, just call me Daryl. I don't, like, why tack on grim? I already have to take your life.
I'm already the Reaper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't that bad enough?
Feels like a hat on a hat. And in the Spade House, the personification of death is Dad coming home.
Morning.
All right, it's time for Fun Fact.
Fun fact.
Cited as Eric Kripke's favorite episode from season 1, it contains many big questions about free will, God, and the value of life.
Yeah. And Sam uses a fake credit card issued to a David Berkowitz. David Berkowitz is the name of the serial killer known as Son of Sam.
Spooky.
Who pleaded guilty to shooting 8 people in 1976. Hilarious reference. He confessed to all of them and initially claimed to have been obeying the orders of a demon manifested in the form of a dog belonging to his neighbor, Sam.
Whoa. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's I feel like that was more than some of the other things. That was like,
Yeah, that's a really
you have to take a left turn.
layered reference here.
Dean says, you can't kill death. However, in season 10, Dean does exactly that. He kills Death.
Oh, so right now we're saying that Dean in this episode is a liar.
And P.S. spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. The Ford City Tribune article that Sam finds is credited to Leanne Ellischuk. Leanne Ellischuk was the graphic designer on Supernatural from 2005 to 2013.
What do you know?
There you go.
Those certainly are fun facts.
Those are fun facts, not like some of the snooze fest facts.
Or the grim facts that the old Reaper had.
And that fact guy is like, really? Grim facts? Come on, man.
Everything the Grim Reaper does is grim. He wakes up, he has a grim breakfast.
How was your day, Grim? What's your favorite NBC show that got canceled about 4 years ago? Grim.
Well, you know what wasn't grim? This episode of Supernatural.
No, it was refreshing and awesome. We had Julie Benz. We had a great conversation and learned a lot about the themes of a great episode of TV. I'm rambling, but the point is it was a good episode.
No, it was really great. And, the other day I was talking to someone who's a fan of the show. It might have been when we were in Paris for the convention. And
why don't you drop a city name more? Jacques Cousteau? Good Lord. Globe-trotting Rob Benedict. Sorry, everybody. Rob was in Paris. I'm sorry. You were saying, monsieur?
I mean, I could have said Des Moines, and you would have been like, oh, hello.
Oh,
whoa.
Des Moines.
Ooh, someone who's been to Iowa.
Why do you just say it in English? Of Moines. Why do you have to use French?
First of all, you were with me in Paris where we had a supernatural convention, and I was saying to one of the fans there that I had just seen Faith, and I really liked it, and they said...
Quoi?
No, they said that was one of their favorite episodes, and I was like, ooh, then I'm getting it. Then I must be watching it correctly. Really, I had the thought. It really made me feel like, oh, good, great, I'm on the right path. And
I'm one of the people.
I'm one of the people now, and it feels good. Hey, do you like our podcast?
I do.
If so, please tell your friends about it.
Hey, Robbie, there's a podcast you should listen to.
Oh, yeah?
It's called Supernatural Then and Now.
Huh, okay. I'll check it out.
That's an example of telling a friend.
That's an example. This episode of Supernatural features Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester and Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester.
Julie Benz guest starred as Layla Rourke.
Co-stars included Rebecca Jenkins as Sue Ann LaGrange, Kevin McNulty as Roy LaGrange,
Jillian Barber as Mrs. Rourke, and Alex Dyken as the Reaper.
Faith was written by Sarah Gamble and Rael Tucker.
Directed by Alan Croker.
Editing by Paul Karasik. Music by Christopher Lennertz.
Executive produced by Eric Kripke and Robert Singer.
The original broadcast of this episode featured the song Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult.
Which makes total sense.
Yes, I know.
This episode.
I gotta pull out our DVDs and watch it that way.
And then go buy a DVD player. This episode originally aired on January 17th, 2006.
And this episode of Supernatural Then and Now was hosted and executive produced by Richard Spade Jr. and Rob Benedict.
Produced by Stephen Hine. Written by Stephen Hine and Haida Holscher.
Audio engineering by Caitlin Hawley.
And edited and associate produced by Trey Boudet.
What's up, Boudet? Music provided by Tim Wynn.
This episode was recorded with the help of Sonic Fuels Studios.
This podcast is from Story Mill Media.
For news on this and other podcasts, follow Story Mill Media on Instagram and on Twitter. Rob and I look like such burnouts.
You got tarps, covering the camera, and you can hear the raindrops falling on it. It's no fun.
Your toupee wax melts.
Yep.
Yeah.
The hair dye runs out.
Exactly. We all look like Rudy Giuliani. Just ink pouring down our face.
All the makeup.
Oh man, that sounds.
What?
He's electrocuted in a pursuit. It sounds like pursuit is a euphemism for something.
Oh boy. Okay. Should I start over?
No.
Okay. So Dean is electrocuted in the pursuit. Why? I don't even know why that's funny. What am I missing?
It's like,
is it pursuit? Sounds like something. He's electrocuted.
It's just. It's so fun.
Well, of course, I remember everybody I make out with.
No, I remember everybody you make out with too.
In a semi-conscious fog, he sees a pale, emancipated. No, in a he sees a free man. A free man, and then all of a sudden.
Oh man.
Okay. In a semi-conscious fog, he sees a pale, Emaciated man. Got it.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's the intro for episode 12.
Reapers are
Story Mill Media.